I want to master every game from my childhood using RetroAchievements, a site that adds achievements to retro games, and today's game is... Mario Kart 64 was released in 1996 for the Nintendo 64, and it's the second Mario Kart title ever made. As a kid, I only ever played it while round at friends' houses, with my first Mario Kart being on the Nintendo DS. I had no idea the frustrations I was about to have. I'll have to finish the game on 50, 100 and 150cc, as well as the extra cups, which, just as you get used to each of the tracks, it flips them around. I'll have to do very specific crazy challenges, insane time trials, learn how to pull off shortcuts, and on top of all that, I'll have to do a run of each of the 4 cups by coming in first place without hitting a single wall. With 72 achievements to grab to earn the mastery, it's time to dive in. The title screen of this game makes me feel like I've ascended and gone to Mario Kart heaven. Welcome to Mario Kart! Let's start off nice and easy and head into 50cc, so I can get used to the controls. As the character selection screen opens, we can see an iconic roster of racers. These days, Mario Kart has like 1 million different racers, including a cow, but just seeing this simple, small collection of notable characters just feels nice. We have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Wario, and Bowser. Normally, when I play Mario Kart, I always choose Yoshi, but for this first cup, I decided to play as the man himself, Mario. We start off with the 50cc Mushroom Cup on Luigi Raceway. Now, I've not played this game since I was like 6 years old. I've played a bunch of Mario Kart since then though, so I know the basics. We can accelerate, use items, and drift. And for drifting, by rapidly pressing left and right, I get my first mini turbo boost to unlock our first achievement, Eat My Orange Dust. I was super confused at first because it was E's coming out instead of sparks. I got slightly distracted by the first achievement, but slowly made my way back to first place. In Mario Kart 64, you have to come either first, second, third, or fourth place to progress to the next track. Anything lower than fourth place actually gives you a chance to retry the current track. Not important right now, but that's going to be super useful later on. I speed ahead and win my first race on Luigi Raceway. We earn 9 points for coming in first place and head into Moo Moo Farm. I use Moo Moo Farm to get used to the mechanics some more, using drifts, jumps, and trying new items like the Trail of Bananas. Moo Moo Farm is a pretty basic map, except for the damn moles. These become a pain much later on. Something I quickly noticed about this game is just how much the CPU is on your ass 24/7. Holy crap, give me some space. I like having a challenge, but it feels like any mistake I make gives them a chance to get ahead, and I just about win this race and head into Koopa Troopa Beach. I messed around with some more of the buttons at the start of the race, finding out I can change things with the HUD and also turn the music off completely. I don't know why this is an option, and at first I thought the game was broken. My dumbass was just driving around in silence the whole time. I used my first lightning bolt here, and it felt like that one banned episode of Pokemon where Pikachu lit up everyone's TV screens. One thing I do like about this game so far is how it looks. It's an older game now, and it's hard to explain, but it just feels cozy, you know? On my final lap, I felt confident and tried the ramp shortcut and made Mario eat dirt, so I'll try that again later on. The final track of Mushroom Cup is Kalimari Desert. A lot of these tracks I've played before due to the retro cups in future Mario Kart games, but it is crazy to see the differences with the OG tracks. I also don't know my brake button yet and almost drove directly into the train. It's a long track, and apart from the train, it's pretty chill. I spent some time sniping the CPUs with some red shells. I could already tell though, I suck at this game. I know it's 50cc and I've only just booted up the game, but I needed some practice. But I had a plan in mind. I finished in first place, completing the 50cc cup and grabbing the achievement Mushroom Cup 50cc Champ for obtaining a gold trophy and Mushroom Cup on 50cc class. I love that the victory screen is straight out of Super Mario 64, outspits our golden trophy, and I think it's time for another achievement. By playing as Luigi and jumping back into the Mushroom Cup, not only do I manage to get some more practice in, but as long as I come first place on every track and get a total of 36 points, I unlock the achievement I'm a Luigi #1. There's a bunch of achievements that include playing as different characters in this set, while obtaining a perfect score, which I really like as it gives you a chance to try out every single character, and our next one to play as is Toad, on the 50cc Flower Cup. Our first track here is Toad's Turnpike. I hate this track. Not only do I have to avoid the CPU, but I also have to look out for the massive vehicles all over the road. I must have hit like 10 different cars. And remember, this is only 50cc. I'm dreading some later achievements we've got to do on this track. But I locked in and managed to come in first place and raced on to Frappy Snowland. This is a track I've played a bunch over the years, and the music just makes me happy. Apart from avoiding the snowmen in random places, it's a nice chill time. And I also got to bully Wario a bunch. Up next is Choco Mountain. On 50cc, Choco Mountain is fine. It's actually a really good track to get used to drifting on. It was a close call at the end with Yoshi right up my ass, but we managed to grab the 9 points and move on to Mario Raceway. This is a track that I'll have to get very familiar with quite soon, but for now, it's one of the most basic tracks I've been on. With some twists and turns, I managed to grab first place with Toad and unlock 2 achievements. I'm the best for getting 36 points using Toad on any speed in Flower Cup, and Flower Cup 50cc champ for obtaining the golden trophy in Flower Cup on 50cc class. Up next we have Peach. If I can win here, I'll get another 2 achievements. Our first track is one of the longest tracks in the game, especially on 50cc, Wario Stadium. It takes about 5 minutes to do Wario Stadium on 50cc, so here's a list of games you can speedrun in less than 5 minutes while I race. Minesweeper, Diablo, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Donkey Kong Jr., Bible Adventure, Where's Waldo, Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Super Mario Land 2, Batman Returns, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, 2, 3, and American Wasteland, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, Diddy Kong Racing, and Super Mario Bros. Next we have Sherbet Land. Friggin' ice physics and the penguins from Super Mario 64, 2 things that have made me rage combined into one track. I just about managed to avoid them and claim my first place. Royal Raceway. The main reason we are playing as Peach during this cup. I don't know what it is about Peach, but whenever I use her in any game, I feel like I get minus luck. This was my first blowout at the start of a race. Apart from a few sharp turns and a fun boost ramp towards the end of the track, Royal Raceway is pretty standard, and we come first place with no problem. But remember that minus luck I was talking about? Well, now we have my most hated track in this whole game, Bowser's Castle. Fun fact, Bowser's Castle is normally my favourite track in Mario Kart. I love the one on the DS, and Mario Kart 8's Bowser's Castle became an instant classic for me. But this one, I spit on this track. The further we get into these achievements, the more you will understand my hatred for it. And as a first impression, here is how my first race went. First, the thwomps. Not just the fact that they block the way, squash you, and the sheer amount of them at the start of the track, but the laugh they do while messing with you just pisses me off. Then we have what I like to call Bullshit Bridge. I have to knock into the wall before it to even attempt to cross, otherwise I'm straight into the lava. Then we have Windy Ass Way. You can't even drift around this bit without hitting a wall, so it's just useless. And here is where I learned how cruel this game can be. I made one mistake where I hit this fake item box, trying to get across Bullshit Bridge, and Wario just took off, but not in a way where I can catch up to him. Nah, bro's on a different track. This game has rubber banding. It's a system to keep races competitive by dynamically adjusting the CPU speed based on your position within the race. That's why the CPU is on our ass the whole time. If we are ahead, the CPU speeds up for a challenge. If we are behind, they are supposed to slow down to give you a chance to catch up. But 9 times out of 10, when this happened to me, I just could not catch up to them. And there's a track that's really bad for this later on. I lost with Peach again, missing out on an achievement, but I still managed to unlock Star Cup 50cc champ for obtaining the gold trophy. On to the final cup for 50cc, the Special Cup, and it's finally time to play as my boy, Yoshi. First up is DK's Jungle Parkway. This track is great. From the long drift sections, jumping over the river, and the super long bridge, it's a great first track for the Special Cup. With such a strong start, let's see how the rest of the tracks go. Yoshi Valley, probably the hardest track in the game, right next to Bowser's Castle. You know it's bad when the game itself can't even tell what's going on. What is this, bro? Question mark? I don't know that character. What's crazy, this is one of my favourite tracks on Mario Kart 8. I know it like the back of my hand, but the OG track, holy hell is this track hard. From the bottomless pits, 17 different ways you can drive, a giant ash Yoshi egg that blocks the way to the thinnest bridge ever made. Screw this bridge. It becomes an enemy much later on. At least the music's good. I somehow managed to stay in first place and move on. Thanks to Mario Kart DS's Lightning Cup, I know Banshee Boardwalk very well, and it's honestly not too different, so I speed into first place. Our final track is N64's Rainbow Road. This is how much I've played Mario Kart 8 in the past. The entire time I'm sat there like, where the hell's the train? It's a crazy long track, but you can't help but smile playing it. The music, RGB characters lighting up the night sky, it's basic, but it feels amazing, and it's very easy to just zone out. On 50cc, I had no issues. As long as I avoid the odd chain chomp, I can enjoy the ride. I finished in first place to grab 2 achievements: Garbled Cute Dinosaur Noises and Special Cup 50cc Champ. For finishing in first place, grabbing the gold trophy and getting a total of 36 points playing as Yoshi in any speed special cup. Now that we have seen all of the tracks for the first time, it's time to get good. I head straight for the time trials. The time trials will help warm me up for all the future challenges and cups that we need to do. And to begin with, we have 3 very special time trials. In this Mario Kart, 3 of the tracks have staff ghosts. These are staff members at Nintendo who got a specific time on a specific track that we can unlock to try and beat. Before we can even take on the staff ghost, we have to beat a certain time to just unlock it. And our first one is on Luigi Raceway. In order to unlock Luigi's time trial ghost, I need to get a time less than 1 minute and 52 seconds. I gave my first few attempts playing as Mario before quickly switching back to Yoshi. But to be fair, with Mario, I managed to hit 1 minute, 52 seconds, and 73 milliseconds, so I'm almost there. Let's cover the main parts that I need to perfect in order to even have a chance at doing this. First was getting a good enough boost at the start. Even if I'm not perfect, I still get a good bit of speed to start off with. Then we have the first corners. By hitting multiple drifts here, but still controlling myself, I can pick up some decent speed, and the closer I am to the edge of the track, the better. The tunnel is no problem. As long as I hit a couple of drifts while I'm inside, I'm fine. And the final part is the exact same as the start of the race. But I also have 3 mushrooms to use. I'll use mushrooms if I make a big mistake, or to skip over this area at the end to try and get a better lap speed. On just my second try with Yoshi, I had a really good run, ending with 1 minute, 48 seconds, and 89 milliseconds. And we unlock the achievement, the Eternal 6 Feet Under Study, and get Luigi's time trial ghost. So now, we just have to beat Luigi. I start with getting a perfect boost, but I think just having Luigi there is a huge distraction for me. I ended up focusing on him way too much than my own driving. I was doing so much better before this lanky green bastard got in the way. It took me a whole 13 minutes of constant restarts before I ended up at the end of this time trial. I used my mushrooms to just about beat him, popping the achievement Ludicrous Speed Luigi for beating his time trial ghost. But it's not over there. We have 2 more of these staff ghosts to do, and up next is Mario Raceway, a basic track when I played it on the 50cc cup, but now it's time to perfect it. Mario Raceway comes down to getting good at drifting. With all the sharp turns and some obstacles, this was going to take some practice. I started out by giving it my best and learning the whole track without restarting. Once I know the track, then I can start shaving off some time. Speaking of time, the time needed to unlock Mario's ghost is 1 minute and 30 seconds, and right now, my time is about 1 minute and 32 to 33 seconds, so already not too bad. My weakest part of the track was the very end. By hitting a drift just right, I can get a really good lap time, but that got messed up every time I drove onto the grass or I hit one of these piranha plants. After a few races, I finally hit the time needed to unlock Mario's ghost, and got the achievement Dance Mini Turbo Macabre. Now, it's time to race Mario's staff ghost. Here, I needed a time of 1 minute and 27 seconds or better. Again, now that I could see Mario on the track, it threw me off a bunch, with my drifting becoming terrible in certain points. One part of the track I managed to get a nice boost from, however, was towards the end, where I would use a mushroom to race across the sand towards the pipe, getting me just ahead of Mario. Getting tighter with my drifting, learning all of the turns, and perfecting my timing, I finally got a time of 1 minute, 26 seconds, and 93 milliseconds to unlock the achievement Max Speed Mario. Now it's time for the final staff ghost, before I take on all of the regular time trials. Royal Raceway. Here we needed a time less than 2 minutes and 40 seconds. After the last couple of time trials, I now had the perfect boost down. My drifting is already a ton better. Now I just have to learn the course. Royal Raceway is just a longer version of Mario Raceway. Longer roads, drifting sections, and the ramp towards the end where we fly towards Princess Peach's castle. The main part I used the mushrooms on this track was this section at the very end, to speed towards the finish line. I unlocked the staff ghost and got the achievement Back from the Pits of Peach, and now it's time to beat her staff ghost. The hardest part of this track is just keeping focused. My TikTok ass brain cannot handle anything longer than 2 minutes, so I would zone out and any mistake would cost me a whole restart. Eventually, I locked it, and just about beat Peach in 2 2 minutes and 38 seconds to pop the achievement Gone to Plaid Peach. Now it's time to beat the achievement time set for all of the time trials. A lot of these achievements didn't allow skips on the tracks, not that I know any. I'll speed through these time trials and just add some details about each track and what times I needed to beat, but doing these before the cups and challenges really helped with becoming better at the game. Luigi Raceway, 1 minute and 48 seconds. After just doing the staff course, this one just came naturally. Moo Moo Farm, 1 minute and 25 seconds. Only things I struggled with were the damn moles and my controls being wonky, so once in a while I would accidentally use a mushroom. Oh yeah, all of these time trial achievements have to be beaten without using any mushrooms. Koopa Troopa Beach, 1 minute and 40 seconds. One of the hardest time trials I had to do. In order to hit this time, I had to learn the shortcut by going up this ramp. It took so many attempts to finally learn the right way to do it, and even got an achievement for doing it the first time. Mush Bay Watch. But now was an even bigger problem. I had to hit it 3 times in a row on each lap to even have a chance to beat the time. I was at this for over 40 minutes, until I finally got the run that let me hit all 3 and I raced on to pop the achievement. Kalimari Desert, 2 minutes. One of the easiest tracks. I just avoided the train and stayed on the track and the achievement was mine. Toad's Turnpike, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. This one only took 2 tries. I just needed to avoid the cars. Frappy Snowland, 2 minutes. This one only took 2 tries as well. It would have been 1 try, but I somehow hit the bridge on my first try, causing me to restart. Choco Mountain, 1 minute and 55 seconds. This one was a pain. The turns were hard to get used to. Trying to drift as much as possible, I kept using the mushrooms by accident, which was really frustrating. And on top of all that, I ended up getting crushed by one of the falling boulders, but I eventually made it through, grabbing the achievement. Mario Raceway, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Same as Luigi Raceway, this one was easy after so much practice. Wario Stadium, 4 minutes and 10 seconds. I ended up just missing out on the first run and had to do this long ass track again. After 2 attempts, this one was done. 8 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Sherbet Land, 1 minute and 55 seconds. This is the only one that I had to watch someone else do in order to complete it. I had to learn where to take the tiniest shortcuts to shave off time. The best places to avoid the penguins. This one was annoying, but once I learned how to do it, it wasn't as bad as Koopa Troopa Beach. Royal Raceway, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Royal Raceway's time trial was easy, only taking 1 try to grab the achievement. Bowser's Castle, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Bowser's Castle kept up the tradition of making me completely flaccid by taking forever to complete. The tight corners, thwomps everywhere, and bullshit bridge took around 30 minutes to learn and get the achievement. DK's Jungle Parkway, 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Not too bad. I struggled on a few of the corners and it took me some time before I realized I can drift and speed up the hill towards the end. Yoshi Valley, 2 minutes. In order to do this time trial, I had to learn this skip right here, and this achievement actually allows the use of the skip. After the giant arrow sign, if I start to drift almost back on myself and jump across, we can cut out a portion of the map, saving a bunch of time. Again, similar to Koopa Troopa Beach, I had to hit this on all 3 laps, and it was frustrating. Once you get it down, it feels so good. On the final attempt, I fell on lap 2, but it was still somehow fast enough as Lakitu put me exactly where I needed to be, and I finally unlocked the achievement. Banshee Boardwalk, 2 minutes. Like I said before, I've had a lot of time on this track thanks to the DS, so this only took 1 attempt. Finally, Rainbow Road, 5 minutes and 25 seconds. 5 minutes is such a long time for a time trial, and with Rainbow Road, you always have to pay attention. But it wasn't the chain chomps drifting or the tight corners that messed me up. It was the damn controls. Accidentally using a mushroom on a track that takes this long to do is soul crushing. But I just had to pick it back up and go again, until I finally got the achievement. Now that all the time trials are done, I'm finally warmed up. I now know every track pretty well. Some I still suck at, but I feel a lot more confident. It's time to jump into 100cc. I choose Wario and head into Mushroom Cup. Here, I managed to get 4 achievements. Blue light means go for getting a starting boost during a Grand Prix race. Thanks to the time trials, perfect starts were now a breeze, and so was the drifting, to the point where I pulled off 20 mini turbos in 1 race, and I also came in first place. To grab the achievement, 2 mini turbos. I raced through and came first with Wario in every track in Mushroom Cup. To grab the achievements, I'm a Wario, I'm a gonna win, and Mushroom Cup 100cc champ, for obtaining a gold trophy in 100cc class while getting 36 points as Wario. Up next is Flower Cup. I chose Peach again, hoping I can finally grab her achievement, alongside the 100cc achievement. On the first track, Toad's Turnpike, I managed to hit a draft. A draft is where you are racing directly behind someone and you get a boost of speed, unlocking the achievement Draft Dodging. Nice! My bad luck continued with Peach, where on Choco Mountain, I came in 2nd place. At the end of the cup, I got the achievement Flower Cup 100cc Champ, and dived into Star Cup 100cc with Peach, and actually managed to come first on every track to unlock 2 more achievements. Yeah, Peach has got it, and Star Cup 100cc Champ for getting 36 points as Peach in any cup class. I wrapped up Special Cup 100cc for an achievement, and now it's time for some interesting achievements. These are what I like to call the challenge achievements. Very specific challenges set for us to complete, and our first one is to hit the Koopa Troopa Beach shortcut during a Grand Prix race. So I got through Luigi Raceway and Moo Moo Farm and made it to Koopa Troopa Beach. After failing on the first 2 laps to hit the shortcut, I hit it on the 3rd, grabbing the achievement Koopa Troopa Breach. Up next was a weird one. For this achievement, here's looking at you, Paisano. While holding A and B, we have to stare into the camera for about a complete second. First, just learning I could drive like this was brand new information. I was sliding all over the place trying to get Mario to look directly into the camera, but to do it for over a second was impossible. I was drifting around trying to trick him, but he had to be steady. So the best thing to do was to find a corner of the track and drive into the corner at a certain angle, so that the camera was now completely facing Mario, unlocking the achievement. I jumped back into Luigi Raceway, but this time on 150cc, and drove like a normal person. By not using any mini turbos, I unlocked the achievement Nitrous Oxide is illegal, you know. Then we had 3 really annoying achievements to grab on the track Toad's Turnpike. By going in on 150cc speed, it gives us a chance to unlock 2 of the 3 achievements at the same time. Here, we have to finish in first place, but we cannot hit any vehicles or any fake item boxes. The problem here isn't hitting anything. Yeah, sure, I hit a few vehicles during this challenge and only 1 fake item box, but the main problem was just trying to get into first place. You see, at first, I was trying to go for 4 achievements, with one of the achievements needing me to win a race and not use a single item during a race on 150cc. My problem here was Peach. Anytime she was in my race, she would just take off. For some reason on this track, it's like the rubber banding didn't exist. If she got ahead by just a little bit, I'd never see her again, and with not being able to use any items, I didn't stand a chance. So I dropped getting the 4th achievement for now and focused on 2 achievements. After 45 minutes, I finally finished the race in first place without getting hit by anything and popped the 2 achievements: get equipped with driver's license and you got learner's permit. Jumping back into Toad's Turnpike, I can get the 3rd achievement on this track. All I have to do is perform 2 drafts and win first place in any engine class. So I chose Bowser, slowly drove behind Toad and got 2 drafts, then sped off to grab first place and the achievement, Toad Kyo Drafting. The next 2 achievements taught me a brand new mechanic in the game. First up, we have the musical fruit. Here, I have to save myself from spinning out from a banana or stone, but I figured out by constantly driving side to side, your character will start to go into a spin out. However, by tapping the brake button, you can avoid this, and that pops the first achievement. For the second achievement, Jungle Parkway's Coconut Gun, I needed to use Donkey Kong on 150cc Jungle Parkway, prevent 1 spin out, and then win the race without spinning out. This one was very tricky, as now I had all of the other races to worry about. If any of them hit me with an item, I would have to start the race again. On top of that, I had to be successful in preventing 1 spin out, which I managed to do after a couple of attempts right at the start of the race. By carefully driving and coming in first place, the achievement popped. The next 2 achievements I got accidentally. I decided to finally start the 150cc cups. Starting with the Mushroom Cup, I got to Moo Moo Farm, and I was having a bad time. By the time I got to the 2nd lap, I was in last place, but thanks to the items, I managed to crawl my way up to first place. And to my surprise, 2 achievements popped: Mario Kart 8th and Super Mario Kart 8th Circuit, for after the first lap, dip down to 8th place. Then, finish in first place. Koopa Troopa Beach was not allowed for this achievement, and because I was on 150cc speed, I unlocked both at the same time. With Koopa Troopa Beach being up next, I had a plan for the next achievement. This achievement wanted me to finish in first place, but I must cross the finish line backwards. This was a pain to practice, as driving backwards in this game is already hard to pull off. The reason this is easier to do on Koopa Troopa Beach is thanks to the shortcut. It gives us enough time ahead to turn around, reverse, and grab the achievement Wrong Way Winner. I unlocked the achievement Vacation on Koopa Troopa Beach for getting the gold trophy on 150cc. By getting back to Koopa Troopa Beach, it's time to go for an achievement I've already attempted: Power Drain. The achievement for not using a single item and finishing in first place on 150cc. The item boxes are really easy to dodge on this track, and with the help of the shortcut, I finally unlocked it. I then got 4 whole achievements for playing through the rest of 150 150cc on every cup. 150cc was a challenge at first. The time trials only run at 100cc, so that extra bit of speed is a lot to get used to. But one by one, I managed to come first on every single track, getting the achievements for the cups. But then, I had to get 36 points in a single cup. While playing on the Star Cup, I had come first place on the first 3 tracks. So, if I'm gonna get this achievement, this is the best time. And of course, it's Bowser's Castle. Why did I put myself through this? All I'll say is thank God for the retry option. Whenever I could see I wasn't gonna make it to first place, I just had to wait around and come 5th place or lower in order to have another try. It took about an hour to finally have a run where I came in first place, unlocking the achievement Hard Driving, a well-named achievement. After doing the 150cc Special Cup, the credits roll, but the journey is far from over. Once they are finished, we are treated to a brand new title screen and a brand new cup, the Extra Cup. Now, we can take on all of the tracks we have been racing on for the past 14 hours, but now they are all flipped, taking away our muscle memory. But call me crazy, some of the tracks just felt naturally better when flipped. I don't know, maybe I am a lot better at the game now compared to where I was 14 hours ago, but for finishing the first Extra Cup, I got the achievement Rewind the Runaway Train. I then went for 2 achievements with Mario. One was for getting 36 points on the Mushroom Cup in 100cc or higher. The second achievement I got was fashionably early to the ceremony, where on Royal Raceway, I had to touch the bridge to Peach's castle and then win first place. I went one step extra and made sure to hit the door of the castle before racing all the way back, popping the achievement and finishing up the cup. While on 100cc, it's time to get the final 2 character achievements for Donkey Kong and Bowser. As Bowser, I had to get 36 points in the Star Cup to unlock the achievement Raw War Raw, and as Donkey Kong, I had to get 36 points in Special Cup to unlock the achievement Laughing Donkey Noises. The next cup achievement to grab was for doing Extra Flower Cup. I'm sure this won't be too hard. Whoa! Okay, I wasn't expecting the cars to be driving right at me. Toad's Turnpike has now turned into Final Destination. Any one of these cars could be my death, and it was a pain to learn, but I finally managed to come in first place. I finished up the rest of the tracks in Flower Cup to grab the achievement Tricky Turnpike Traffic Troubles. Then came the Extra Star Cup. I raced through Wario Stadium and Sherbet Land with no problems. I failed only once on Royal Raceway and ended up coming in 8th place, but I retried and got first place. I feel like I'm getting deja vu. Here, we only needed one more first place to get another 36 point achievement for the extra mode. You know, maybe I do like Bowser's Castle. Why else would I keep going for full points on only Star Cup? But it only took 3 tries to finish in first place, unlocking 2 achievements: Drive Hard and Reverse Royal Rochambeau, for earning 36 points in extra and getting the gold trophy in Star Cup. So now, we only have 7 achievements left to go. The final 4 are the hardest of the set. So before we cover those, I managed to get through all of Special Cup with no problems, grabbing both Wrong Way Rainbow Ward and We Are Number 1, but it's every cup. The credits roll again as we finish all of Extra Mode. Now, this entire set so far has been about winning, coming in first place, getting golden trophies. But what if, for this next achievement, we came in 4th place? You see, every time I have won, at the ending ceremony, you can see 4th place just chilling in the background. But what happens to them? Let's find out. We have to go with the biggest loser for this one, Bowser. This felt unnatural. Having to stay as close to 4th place as possible with the rubber banding is a pain. I always had to make sure I had an item on the off chance 5th place just went past me. I also had to do maths. I came 3rd in Koopa Troopa Beach, meaning I got 3 points, putting me at 5 points. But Yoshi has 6 points and Toad has 4 points, meaning no matter what, in the next race, Yoshi has to stay above Toad. Luckily, we are on Calamari Desert. The CPUs mess up a lot on this track. For the most part, Yoshi was in 2nd place, but somehow, by the end, Yoshi and Toad got the exact same placements, but I managed to stay in 4th place. Alright, let's see this secret ending. Oh, okay, so we get to watch the others pull up and enjoy their victory while Bowser gets sad. That's not too bad. What's with the music? It's alright, Bowser, there's always next time. Why is there a bomb? Wait, no, what? Oh my god, they've killed him! That's right, for coming 4th place, you get bombed. What the hell, Nintendo? Alright, after that drama, it's time to start the 4 hardest achievements of the entire set. These achievements require us to complete each of the cups on either 150cc or extra mode by coming in first place, but we are not allowed to hit a single wall. Now, for Flower, Star and Special, we do get a bit of a break. Don't get me wrong, they still end up insanely hard as you were about to see, but we get the option that if we don't come first place, we can come 5th place place or lower to retry the track. But for the Mushroom Cup, it wants us to do the entire cup without hitting a single wall. And on top of that, we also need 36 points, meaning we have to come first place on every track. Flower Cup also wants us to get 36 points, but when we get to Star and Special Cup, just coming first place overall is good enough. And we can do it in 100cc. With how difficult those tracks can be, I'm glad we're allowed to do it at that speed. However, if we mess up on 150cc Mushroom Cup, we have to start the whole cup over from scratch. This was it. 16 hours of playing this game had finally hit its peak. Luigi Raceway was done. Very easy. The time trial staff ghost helped a lot with this one. Moo Moo Farm was a pain, not because of the walls, but because of this bridge. One slight movement and it's super easy to bump into. But I was doing really well until I forgot I also need to come in first place. Mario ended up taking over right at the end of the third lap, making me restart the cup. It's one thing to drive carefully, but to do that while still going at full speed so you can win, this is going to be harder than I thought. Back at Moo Moo Farm, and this time I managed to come in first place. Perfect. What's next? Koopa Troopa Beach. Alright, I'm not even risking it with the shortcut, and to be honest, there isn't many walls to hit. I managed to race through in first place and win, and our final track for this cup is Calamari Desert. Unless I go full speed into the train, hitting a wall on this track is basically impossible, and with that, one of the hardest 4 achievements is done. Wall Shrooms unlocks, and I head into the Flower Cup. Instead of playing as Yoshi, I'm now going to play as Wario, and here is why. When I started up the Flower Cup as Yoshi, and I got my perfect boost, I was immediately thrown into the walls. These next few cups have very tight tracks, so to stop other CPUs from crashing into me and sending me straight into the walls, playing as a heavy character is gonna be super useful. That still didn't stop the boost being a pain though. I kept hitting the corner of this wall at the very start, but once I locked in, I managed to get through Toad's Turnpike. My first race on Frappy Snowland didn't go well, so I waited for the other races to pass before ending the race. I will say, thank God for the retry option on these cups. The worst thing is the waiting. Bumping into a wall on the first lap and then having to wait 2 entire laps before I can have another go at the race is crazy. I got through Frappy Snowland and now it's time for Choco Mountain. This damn mountain. The CPUs were a pain on this one. That mixed with the tight turns that I needed to pull off caused me to retry so many times. Right at the first lap, I hit the wall on the first turn and I had to wait out and drive slowly to make sure I got a chance to retry. After a few more tries, I had the luckiest ending to a race so far, and I still don't understand what happened. At the final part of the track, me and Mario are right on top of each other. I turned to hit him with a spinning green shell, but that caused me to spin out. Somehow, me hitting this wall didn't count. The achievement in the bottom right stayed, so either I got insanely lucky or the green shells protected me. But we take those. It's time for the final track, Mario Raceway. I would have had this done the first time around if the CPUs didn't plan against me and put every single damn banana ever made into this final corner of the track. But one race later, I grabbed the achievement Wallflowers. Heading into Star Cup, we have Wario Stadium. I ended up hitting one wall here on my first try, which, with how long this track is, an absolute pain. But I managed to do it on my second try. I was nervous for Sherbet Land and Royal Raceway, but they were both done on the first try. But now, you know exactly what it's time for. Bowser's Bloody Castle. Before I even cover what this experience was like, let me tell you this. An hour and 20 minutes. That's how long it took to just do this one track. First, we have the Thwomps. These guys will just push you into walls if you're not careful. The tight corners entering into different rooms are a challenge, even for a heavy character. If a character ends up speeding past, you will bump into one of these walls. Bullshit Bridge was the worst part of this track. Having to carefully come around the corner, line myself up, and pray that no one would hit me into a wall or the lava was insane. Windy ass way is just a pain. Too much speed or not enough control and you will hit one of these walls. And remember, any mistake I made here, I had to wait out the entire race just to have another go. Here are all 12 times and the reasons I had to retry. Coming around the corner to Bullshit Bridge. Bumped my ass at Windy Way twice. Hit the wall right after the Thwomps due to a random speed up after slowing down too much. I watched Yoshi run into a banana. Then, out of nowhere, I hit a banana, which was not there. I swear, even slowing down the footage, Yoshi hits the banana. There's nothing there. And then the final frame before I drive past, it's there. I don't know if Yoshi placed that down or what, but I would not have expected a banana to be there at that point. I got absolutely sent into Windy Way by Bowser's fat ass going at a ridiculous speed that almost made me throw my controller. I hit this corner, again, right at the start of a race. I spun sped forward and slightly touched Donkey Kong, which might set the record for the fastest wall touch ever to happen after the start of a race. Just as I'm about to use a star to save me at Bullshit Bridge, Luigi speeds past with his own star and sends me into the wall. I hit this corner a third time, Peach got me with a banana, and then I just drove really bad and ended up coming in 8th place. And then, finally, I had the perfect race. I drove carefully around the thwomps, conquered Bullshit Bridge, headed up windy ass way 3 entire times to end up in 3rd place. But we take it, it's done. That's 1st place overall, baby, and the achievement wall stars popped. Let's grab our final achievement. Our final cup is the special cup, with DK's Jungle Parkway up first. These achievements are where the bridges really became a problem. Sure, I messed up on the end hill and the long drift section, but for the life of me, I could not stop touching this bridge. And the worst thing, this is the easy bridge. As we head into Yoshi Valley, the 2nd hardest track in the game, I have a confession to make. I have been lying to you all. This is not Bullshit Bridge. This is. This bridge caused me way more pain than Bowser's Castle Bridge. Even playing as the heaviest character, I would still get bumped into the sides. And because I'm the biggest character, it's so easy for me to touch the sides. Every single damn time I was about to cross this bridge, something happened. Whether it was using a mushroom that just slightly touched it on the way out, or having the other racers bump into me. This took a solid 30 minutes to get past. So I was very happy to finally see Banshee Boardwalk. The only problem here is Toad has a lot of points. I'm still ahead, but with the way the points work in this game, I need to come ahead of Toad no matter what on the final track. And what's the final track? Rainbow Road. What a track to wrap everything up on. All I have to do is focus on the pretty colours, watch out for chain chomps, and stay in 1st place, and nothing will go wrong. Lightning? Really? They never hit me with the lightning, and now they do? So I did the long ass wait to try again, and again, and again. Just tiny little things kept going wrong, until the final run. I got hit by chain chomps, had to hold and use items like my life depended on it. 19 hours of drifting, racing, time trials, RNG bullshit, racing on the best tracks and the absolute worst tracks had all come down to this, where one final time I crossed the finish line and the final achievement popped. Walmart special. And with that, Mario Kart 64 for the Nintendo 64 has finally been mastered. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out another Retro Achievement playthrough on the screen right now. And if you want to know the next game I'm going to master, all you have to do is subscribe.